Hello everyone, yes, I'm back, and this time around I'm going to be talking to you about games that go a little bit longer. So last time we did under 20 minutes, this time we're going to do the next bucket, so 20 to 40 minutes. Now, yes, there's going to be some of these that could end early, and they could have dragged on at the other end, but predominantly when we get these to the table, this is roughly the sort of, roughly half an hour, but 10 minutes either way sort of games. Of course, if I miss any, let me know in the comments section below, but let's jump into the list. At number 5 is a brilliant way to teach people engine building, which definitely comes up in games of longer time and a bit more weight, and that is Splendor. Now in this game, you are going to be taking these really nice chunky poker chips as resources from the market, and then spending them for cards. But those cards don't just give you points. In fact, some don't give you points at all. However, instead, they're going to be giving you the symbols that are those resources. So you might buy a card that then means you've always got one ruby to be able to spend on a later turn. So you don't maybe have to take that ruby resource poker chip from the market. You could take something else that goes with it. So over the course of the game, you can decide, are you going to try and save from the market and buy some big cards? Are you going to buy lots of little ones and then be able to power through, basically paying for everything for free because of what's already on your cards? So you build up this engine, or you decide not to, and it's when do you go from building the engine to using it for points. It's a lot of fun. It might not sound too much fun, engine building, but it's got some great choices. You've got the chance to hoard some tokens, which spoils other people's plans, and take cards that other people were going for. Lots of fun, and it plays very comfortably in 30 minutes. That is Splendor. Number 4 is Cartographers. Now this is a game that since entering my collection has just gone up and up and up. I think the map packs have probably helped me get it back to the table. But even the default maps, and that's if you go for Cartographers or Cartographers Heroes, they're basically interchangeable as base games. If you go for either one of those, you're going to have a great game. And you can definitely play it, even with some slower people, in that sort of 30 to 40 minute range. So it's a flip and write, so no dice. You're going to be flipping a card over from the deck, and everyone's going to be drawing that on their map. Now, this is the part that gets interesting because a lot of those cards have choices. So it might be a L-shaped Tetris-like piece that could be of trees, or it could be of village places, it could be wheat or water, that sort of thing. And you're crafting out this sort of supposedly like Dungeons and Dragons map. You're the cartographer after all. And then you're trying to score these point scoring cards. Now that's an interesting one because each of them is going to score in 2 seasons, 2 rounds. Which means you know what's scoring in, say, the 3rd and 4th round, so you can build up from the start of the game. You also know the objective you're scoring in round 1, one of those is going to be back in round 4. So there's a nice little loop. You can score some quick points for it, and you know if you build up, you'll score more for them at the end. There's coins to collect, which is going to give you points. There's monsters that are going to disrupt things from your opponents. You can get heroes in the heroes version to slay those monsters. And they're even worse, those monsters. It's just a lot of fun, and like I say, a lot of choices and a really sort of finished game, regardless of which base game you go for. And the map packs, which are relatively cheap, just help get that game back to the table. Number 3 for me is Carcassonne Winter Edition. Now I say that because I have the big box of the standard Carcassonne. For me, if I just want to play like a Carcassonne, I'm going to probably go to the shelf and get the Winter Carcassonne because it's just like the core standard box. But of course, you could just get normal Carcassonne with the fantastic River mini expansion, which is a lot of fun. Now, Carcassonne is a tile placement game. You are on your turn picking up a tile and placing it, growing out this fantastic looking map whether it is green grass and the sort of city parts of Carcassonne, or you are sort of going these very snowy, gingerbready sort of fields, again with the city of Carcassonne parts. You're scoring points by placing meeples. You never want to run out, but you always want to have as many people down to potentially be scoring points when you complete things like roads, or go everywhere around one of the cathedrals, or you finished like an area of the city. It's so much fun. You can sort of ninja in on other people's roads and cities and different things like that. And there are expansions for at least the standard version that just allow you to do some very weird and wonderful extra bits. But the base game, 30 minutes, you've placed tiles, you've made this awesome spreading, sprawling map. It's a lot of fun and can be really good for introducing new players as well. Now, this might be because we've played the game a lot, but easily within 40 minutes we can have a full game of Ticket to Ride Europe. Now, if you go up to the 5 player count, then you might struggle to fit this in. Maybe you could hit 45, but not quite the 40 minutes. But I really enjoy Ticket to Ride Europe. We've got the anniversary edition up on the shelf, which just is a little bit more colourful, a bit more blinged out. But the core game, the sort of standard one that you can get from pretty much anywhere now, it's in so many different shops and stuff on the high street. Ticket to Ride Europe is a great game where you're collecting these hand of cards. You're trying to get, say, like a set of 4 red cards to claim that 4 red route that's allowing you to link up, say, London to, and you're trying to get all the way over to maybe Berlin or something like that. So you've got to claim a few little routes there. And then maybe you're trying to get somewhere like Madrid down the bottom, and you've got to do loads of different routes. Other people can try and block you. You can try and play a little bit more friendly and not block each other, because sometimes that can cause people not talking to you, which is a little bit of fun, but a little bit not. Ticket to Ride, though, is one of those games that, yeah, the first time you play it, or if you're playing it with 5 people, it might take that hour, but you can very quickly start to realise, once you know how to play the game, on your turn you know what you're doing, and you get it down to easily 35, 40 minutes. It's that a little bit extra with Europe. The standard America map is just playing those cards. With Europe, there's some tunnels with a push your luck style mechanic in it. I don't like push your luck too much, but I do like that. It's just a teeny bit of it, sort of to spice things up. And it's family weight, so you can go into the game, not care about it too much, have a chat round the table and enjoy yourselves. While I do enjoy the Europe one more, just because of that little extra mechanic, it's also probably because I know where those places are on the map. So there's so many versions out there that you can get from Asia, Africa. You can get one that's just Germany. You can get map packs for just Japan, for the UK specifically, and stuff like that. So you can get ones that you're going to know, and I think that does help when you're not having to search the board for a location, and you can just read it and go, I've got to link those two, that's there on the board, that's there on the board. It's just a lot of fun. Ticket to Ride has got to be in pretty much any gamer's collection. And last but not least, probably the most gamery game on the list, but it can easily end within 5 minutes. It can easily drag out if you're really sort of struggling with what to play to that 45 minutes. But Unmatched is a phenomenal system. If I have to pick one box, I would at the moment be picking probably the Cobble and Fog box still, although some of the Marvel ones are fantastic. They only have 3 characters rather than the 4. There's some great 2-figure boxes though, like T-Rex versus Dr. Sattler. So there's different IPs as well as non-IP ones in there as well. The system is amazing. So you take these 2 characters, so you could have Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. You can have those 2, because it's Sherlock is the main character with a sidekick of Watson, up against a T-Rex. Or maybe Daredevil from the Marvel set. You can then, using your deck of cards, you shuffle it and play attacking, defending, sort of special action cards. It's just a lot of fun. Unmatched is it's quite easily snuck well into my top 10 games because it's just an amazing system that is expensive, because once you've got the taste of one box, you kind of want them all. And realistically, I don't have them all. I don't have the Buffy set. I don't care too much for Buffy the Vampire. Some people really will. But for me, the price of that, there's no way I'm going to be buying that. I was very lucky that I sort of snuck in there and got a copy of both Deadpool and Bruce Lee before they skyrocketed. They are ludicrously expensive now, to the extent that I'm very glad I've got them in the collection, but if I needed money, well, I'd sell them, because I love playing as Deadpool or Bruce Lee, but they're not worth the £100 or whatever that they go for a single person. When you can get Cobble and Fog for like £30–35 easily if you look around. And that's got 4 heroes, 4 characters for you to just fight it out. You've got that chance to sort of play, if you wanted, 2v2, or just as you really should play Unmatched, 1v1, use those decks, batter each other down. It's a really phenomenal system, and plays in a good chunk of your lunch break, but allowing you still to go and maybe eat some food afterwards. Anyway, what game have I missed? What is your top game that you can guarantee, at least the majority of the time, bar a really early ending or a slight drag, will play in that 20 to 40 minute range? If you haven't, go and check out the top 5 games to play in under 20 minutes, and come back at some point soon, and there'll be the next sort of section as well. So until next time, have a great day gaming.